Okay, so let's think about this. Every single great product out there, whether it's the smartphone in your pocket or your go-to snack, started out as just an idea, a spark. But how does that little spark survive the incredibly tough journey to actually end up on a store shelf? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, the complete roadmap for new product development.
I mean, we see new products all the time, right? But for every success story, business history is just a graveyard of expensive failures. So what makes this whole process so incredibly risky? The truth is, the market today is basically a minefield.
And here's why it's so chaotic. You've got product life cycles that are getting shorter and shorter. Customer tastes, they change in a heartbeat. The competition is absolutely brutal, and technology is evolving faster than anyone can keep up. Because of all this pressure, constant innovation isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's about survival.
And that really gets us to the heart of what we're talking about. A brilliant idea is, of course, the spark you need to get started, but it's just not enough. The real solution, the thing that separates the massive hits from the products nobody remembers, is having a disciplined, structured process.
The best way to think about this process is like a funnel. Seriously, at the wide top, you pour in hundreds of raw, unfiltered ideas. As they move down, they get filtered, tested, and polished until only the absolute best, most viable products come out the bottom. It's a roadmap for turning pure creativity into real-world commerce.
And this is that roadmap. These 7 stages are the backbone of what we call the new product development, or NPD, process. We're going to walk through every single step so you can see exactly how an idea is systematically turned into something ready for the market. So, these first 4 stages, they're all about doing your homework. This is the heavy lifting, the research, the planning, the tough analysis that has to happen before you spend a single dollar actually building anything. It's all about vetting the idea from every possible angle.
And this quote from Seth Godin, it perfectly captures the mindset you need. This is the guiding philosophy for the whole thing. The process doesn't start with what you want to build. It starts with what the customer actually needs and wants.
All right, stage 1, idea generation. Now, the most important word here is systematic. This is not about sitting around waiting for a lightning bolt of genius to strike. It means you're actively, deliberately searching for new opportunities and creating channels for ideas to flow right into the company.
So where do all these ideas come from? Well, literally everywhere. You can find them by listening to customer complaints, by analyzing what your competitors are doing, by funding your own R&D teams, or even just by asking your own employees for suggestions. At this stage, the goal is pure quantity. Just get as many ideas as possible.
Okay, so once you have this huge pile of ideas, you move to stage 2, idea screening. This is the first and maybe the most important filter. The whole point is to be ruthlessly efficient, to spot and get rid of the bad ideas fast so you don't waste time and money on something that was never going to work anyway.
So, what are you looking for? You're asking the really tough questions. Does this idea even fit with our company's goals? Is there a real need for it out there? Do we actually have the technology and people to make it? And probably most important of all, can we actually make money from it?
Now, any idea that makes it through that screening moves on to stage 3, concept testing. This is where you take that simple idea and you flesh it out. You turn it into a detailed concept. Maybe it's a drawing, a digital mock-up, or just a detailed description. Then you take that concept and show it to real customers to see how they react. That early feedback is absolutely critical.
Stage 4, market analysis, is like the final gate before things get really expensive. This is where you build the complete business case. It's the moment of truth, really. The project has to prove, on paper, that it's a smart, financially sound investment before it gets the green light to move forward.
And what's in that business case? All the nitty-gritty details. You've got detailed sales forecasts, a deep analysis of all the costs versus the potential profit, and a clear plan for your pricing, promotion, and distribution. If the numbers just don't add up here, the project dies. Simple as that.
All right, so if a concept has survived those first 4 stages of intense vetting, it's finally time to make it real. These next 3 stages are all about execution. It's about taking that blueprint and turning it into an actual, tangible product that you can launch out into the world.
Stage 5 is product development. This is the big moment where the idea finally leaps off the drawing board and into reality. The engineers, designers, and marketers all come together to turn that concept into a physical working prototype. This is often the most expensive and time-consuming part of the entire process.
Now, once you have a product that actually works, you don't just launch it everywhere all at once. That's way too risky. Instead, you move to stage 6, test marketing. The best way to think of this is like a full dress rehearsal. You might release the product and its entire marketing campaign in just 1 or 2 cities to see how it does in the real world before you go all in.
And the key here is that you're not just testing the product itself, you're testing the whole strategy. You're trying to see if the market will actually accept it. You're gathering priceless feedback from actual buyers, and you're fine-tuning your marketing plan based on real data, not just what you think will work. It's a massive risk reducer.
And that brings us to the grand finale, Stage 7, commercialization. This is it. This is the launch. If the test market was a success, the company goes big. We're talking full-scale manufacturing, massive advertising campaigns, and getting the supply chain ready to get this product out to everybody.
So, we've walked through all 7 stages. But let's take a step back. Why is it so important to follow a structured journey like this? Well, it's all about building a reliable bridge that takes you from a raw creative idea to actual sustainable commercial success. This chart really shows that funnel in action. Take a look. You might start with over 100 initial ideas at the top. After you screen them, that number plummets to maybe 15 or 20 decent concepts. And after all that work, you might only end up with 1 or 2 truly successful products. This whole process is designed to find those winners as efficiently as possible.
And this leads us to maybe the single most important takeaway. A lot of people think that having a rigid process like this will stifle innovation and kill creativity. But a good NPD process does the exact opposite. It doesn't kill creativity, it channels it. It gives that creative spark a purpose and a direction, aiming it toward ideas that can actually succeed in the market.
When you boil it all down, for any business student to remember, this process does 3 incredibly important things. First, it minimizes the huge financial risk of launching something new. Second, it forces everyone to get crystal clear on what the best opportunities are. And third, it aligns the entire company, from finance to engineering to marketing, behind one single shared goal.
But I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. We've seen how this process is amazing at managing risk and setting you up for success, but what about those truly game-changing, world-altering innovations? Can a structured process deliver those? Or do they still require a bold, risky, intuitive leap of faith that a checklist just can't account for? Something to think about.